You sit there completely stunned. An hour ago, they were just yelling at you on the car ride over, but the nurse walks in and they're smiling and cracking jokes and calmer than ever. And everyone is looking at you like you're the one who has the problem. In today's video, we're going to discuss why this happens and how to communicate your concerns with those who are caring for your loved one with dementia but are only seeing the best versions of them. For those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's jump on in. Dementia doesn't always show up in public, does it? Your loved one with dementia may still have automatic habits and automatic social scripts that make them appear fine to visitors or nurses or doctors. They'll walk into the appointment or to that dinner party and they'll smile and nod and crack jokes and, hey doc, how are the kids? And so they appear fine to other people. It's kind of like a neurological masking, a reflex, a social reflex. These are skills that have been well rehearsed and well refined for decades across your loved one's life. And so they become habit, even though, as I mentioned before, there's other decline going on in the background. So your loved one with dementia is going to be cracking the joke with the nurse, but then 2 hours later, when you return home and they can't find their phone, they're going to accuse you of stealing it. So when people say, they seem totally fine to me, of course they do. Your loved one with dementia is engaging in a social reflex. That ability is not gone yet. You're the one they drop the mask around. Because you're the one taking care of your loved one with dementia, managing the medications, making sure they're eating properly, redirecting them when they're confused. You're the one who's there around the hardest moments. You're the one who's there to see the patterns. And it's not as though your loved one with dementia is faking it for others, but they are performing better. There is a performance because of these social reflexes that get activated with new people. You, on the other hand, you see the 3 a.m. wandering, the confusions, the hallucinations. Everyone else gets 15 minutes of charm, but you are the one who's on 24/7. I explain it like this to my clients and my patients, and maybe it can be helpful for you here too as well, care partner. With dementia care, there's a front stage and there's a backstage. And so when visitors come to hang with your loved one with dementia, they're like the audience watching the front stage. They get to see the smiling, they get to see the charm, they get to see the jokes. But you, as the caregiver, you're always backstage. So you are seeing the miscues, you are seeing the panic, you are seeing the chaos, the wardrobe malfunctions, you are seeing it all backstage. And so while others get to applaud the performance, you as the caregiver in the back, you're the one cleaning up all the mess 24/7. And when I explain it like that to my patients and my families, and I tell them, hey, you explain it just like that to your friends who are saying, oh, but your mom seems just fine to me. Oh, I ran into your husband at the post office. He seemed just fine to me. Yeah, for 10 minutes. You're getting the front stage performance. Let me tell you what's going on behind the scenes. Let them into your experience, care partners, because most people have no idea what goes into dementia care. And this is why you feel gaslit, why it's so common for other people to negate your experience, even other family members. Why you feel gaslit and why it's so common. Because of this front stage and backstage performance, you try to share with others your experience and what you're seeing. You may share it with a sibling, you may share it with your loved one's doctor. You know, I'm seeing some changes, I'm really worried here. And the response that you often get is, really? They seem fine to me. Really? I didn't see anything when I stopped by. And because there's a gap between what you're seeing and what others are seeing, it starts to create friction. One of my care partners refers to it as caregiver gaslighting. I tried to tell my sister what was going on, and she just kept telling me that what I was seeing, I was imagining it. So that care partner called it caregiver gaslighting. So there's a difference between what you see, care partner, and what other people are seeing. And so then you start to get gaslit. You start having doubts about what it is that you're seeing. You start asking yourself, am I overreacting? Maybe this is normal aging. what should I be expecting, right? You start really doubting yourself. And then that constant doubt starts to lead to emotional as well as physical fatigue, because you're constantly trying to explain to people what you're seeing and they're not seeing it. And then physically you're fatigued because you're doing so much more without getting support. And all of that together then leads to resentment and burnout. I'm here to validate that experience for you, your partner. You tell that family member, you tell that doctor that you are educating yourself on dementia and dementia care, and it's not uncommon for your loved one with dementia to show up with intact social skills and social scripts and automatic behaviors. And so for a brief period of time, they are relying on those social reflexes with them, but with you, you're seeing other patterns of behavior. That's concerning. If you're feeling seen and heard in this video, care partner, if I'm basically describing your daily existence right now, then please go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. I am here to support you and to offer you tools with how to navigate dementia care. And in fact, let's jump on into what to do about communicating these concerns. How to communicate your concerns without being dismissed. Here's how to shift the conversation a little bit, care partner. Try not to only lead with your concern. And what I mean by that is, I'm worried about mom, I'm worried about dad. I find that that is often so easily dismissed by other people. Try leading instead with facts and observations. And that can look like, she's struggling to follow steps that I give her. Did you notice that he was covering up forgetting other people's names with jokes? She tried to take the same medication 4 times yesterday. I had to intervene and stop her. He refused to eat for 2 days in a row, but when you came by, he had a hearty meal. Those are factual events that any healthcare worker or care member should be concerned about. And I would also hope that your sibling would be concerned that your loved one with dementia is trying to take their medications 4 times. So with these facts, with these observations, they're not so easily dismissed as with, I'm worried about mom. So try sharing those observations and facts to shift the conversation. And in fact, that segues well into our next point. How to document changes that others don't see. When my care partners are first starting out, I say, use a simple 3-column tracker. And the 3 columns can track the mood changes that you're seeing with your loved one with dementia, the functional changes, and I'll explain that in a second. And it can also track the cognitive gaps that you're seeing, and I'll explain that in a moment. So under the mood column, you want to record, care partner, any changes in mood that you're noticing. Is your loved one with dementia more angry or irritable? Are they more suspicious? Are they more paranoid? In the functional changes column, you can track, is your loved one struggling with functioning in their day-to-day? And what I mean by that is, are they having a hard time dressing themselves, paying their bills? Would they be able to make a meal if you weren't there? Can they take their meds on their own? Can they attend their appointments on their own, or even make an appointment on their own? So under the functional changes column, you are documenting how your loved one functions in their day-to-day existence. Under the cognitive gaps column, this is where you want to notice any of those brain or thinking changes that's going on. Is your loved one now repeating a lot of questions? Are they forgetting what you told them just 10 minutes ago? Are they confused about the time or even the time period? And what I mean by that is, do they think that they're 20 years in the past or 10 years in the past? Are they referring to you, their son, as their uncle? And are they wandering? Are they doing strange behaviors that they didn't used to do before? At 1 a.m., they're going out into the garden. Here's where you want to note any of those cognitive gaps in their behaviors from what they were doing before to what they're doing now. You can also track the time at which you're observing some of this. If there's triggers, so for example, if there's a lot of people around in the environment, that's when some of these behaviors are more pronounced. And you can also track how long you're noticing the behaviors for. Like, are they doing this for 10 or 15 minutes 4 times a day. Those are additional information that you can track, but if you want to start small, care partner, that 3-column tracker will be enough for a hearty conversation with your loved one's care team. This becomes your receipt, so to speak, in which you're able to have an in-depth, thorough conversation with your loved one's care team, or you have this in-depth conversation at a family meeting in which you're highlighting the facts and the patterns, not just your feelings, not only the concerns that you have. You're not the problem, you're the mirror. Here's another truth, care partner, that a lot of people don't discuss, which is your observations reflect a truth that others aren't ready to see yet. And so when they reject what it is that you're saying, even though it feels so personal, it may not have anything to do with you. When you're telling your sibling, I'm worried about mom, here's what I'm seeing, and they say to you, oh, no, mom's okay. Oh, no, dad cracks jokes like that all the time. He didn't forget anyone's name. Even though that rejection of your truth feels so personal, we talked about it in the video, it leads to self-doubt, it leads to resentment. Even though it feels so personal, care partner, it often has nothing to do with you and all to do with what the truth represents. The vast majority of dementias are terminal. And so if your sibling co-signs with your observations, that means that I have to prepare myself that my mom's dying? No, I'm not ready for that. No, you misunderstood. No, you're overreacting. You're worrying. It's so much easier for your family member, your sibling, to deny than it is for them to accept the fact that they could be losing their loved one. And so I'm just sharing that with you because I don't think that part of it gets discussed enough. When siblings are denying the facts, it may not be the sibling rivalry that you guys have always had. It could be that. And it could also be confronting the fact that they're losing someone that they care about deeply. So if you've ever felt doubted or dismissed, care partner, I hope this video gave you the validation that you need. Stick around for the next video, Is It Dementia? That can help you to further clarify what it is that you're seeing and can help guide those conversations that you need to have with your loved one's doctors. As well, if you'd like the simple tracker that I discussed in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and link that down below for you. It again will inform conversations with your loved one's doctor and could also inform conversations with your siblings or other family members who aren't seeing what it is that you're seeing. I hope this was helpful and I'll see you in the next one.